24 hours sure does go by fast. Would you not say, Terry?
I would. Yep. Seems like we were just here.
Feels like it. Yeah, I got up early this morning, went to the golf course, played 18 holes. Tuesday's my semi like day off. Not really do I ever get a day off. I mean, you have to be at the golf course at like 6:20 in the morning to make the most of the time. Hit some really nice drives today. A couple of them like 280, 290 yards right down the middle. So I was pretty pumped up about that.
Well, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, I don't play golf, but I did caddy when I was in high school. Made quite a bit of money. I caddied at a really fancy golf club. So it was fun.
Yeah, we were playing with this guy. I don't know. He had to be 85 years old. I swear to you, I've never seen a guy of this guy's age hit the ball the way this guy hit the ball. I mean, he 250 yards, almost always right down the middle. I mean, just striping it for his age and put a lot of pressure. I mean, I honestly, I felt like I was under pressure all day to play well. It's like, oh my God, I can't, I got to keep up. It's funny. And he was really like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm like, dude, you're 85. You're in a hurry. Where are you going, man?
Oh, wow. Yeah,
right?
I wish I had his energy. I'm not even close to his age.
One time, like I was just trying to like rearrange my clothes a little bit. He's like, I'm gonna play forward because I gotta go somewhere. I was like, all right, dude, whatever you need to do. But it was fun. I mean, it was a good time. I had a really nice back nine shot of 42. For me, that's not bad. It's pretty good for me actually. So I was pretty happy about that. Yeah. Something else I was pretty happy about is that you and I both hit not the most fruitful of all pick fours yesterday, but we've hit, and I think we've had the pick four 2 out of 3 days.
We have, yes, absolutely. Because the first day it was the races were canceled, so we couldn't finish it. So yeah, we have.
That's a solid track record. I'm happy about that. I think it paid what, like for $2, it paid like $50 or something. I mean, for 50 cents, paid like $50 or something like that.
Yeah, $47.25.
So there's a couple scratches in there. If you had in the last leg the 4-horse scratch, and I had 3 horses in my last leg, but I had 4 in the prime rib. So maybe you took the 2 out of the prime rib and stuck it in the hot dog for Sean's steak burger.
Yeah.
and ended up having it twice.
His buffalo burger.
Burger. That's right.
It actually
he hit 2.
He hit, yes, he did. So that's pretty cool.
So that was a good time. Yeah. So that was fun. So let's see if we can carry it through another day at Penn National with some more kind of interesting races. Some cheap ones there for sure. But before we talk about that, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the news to keep everybody a little bit up to date. The state of Louisiana joins a lawsuit seeking to derail the Horseracing Integrity and Safety Authority Act, which was designed to nationalize or to create national set of rules for folks. And Louisiana doesn't want to do it because it says it violates the Constitution and their 10th Amendment rights to self-govern.
Yes, and that's, again, about states' rights, I guess. And they joined Oklahoma and West Virginia. And also the Harness Race Trotting Association as plaintiffs. So they, I think it's because they don't want to be controlled that way. They want to be able to decide how to spend their money and the fees that they collect, that sort of thing. So, but I really think people need to get together, all the different states, and get something that's national and not have each state be taking care of their own and setting up different rules and that sort of thing. It just makes it really hard to.
Well, I think their argument was about taxation and fees and stuff like that. And I think they can get together and make a national set of rules.
Yes.
But, and I do kind of agree that states should be able to decide how their money is spent and not the federal government, especially for horse racing. But there should be some uniform rules across from one track to the other. So you don't have no whip rules at Monmouth and unlimited whip rules at Thistledown. Some tracks have Lasix, some tracks don't have Lasix. There should be some uniformity in all that, I think.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, and I agree with the states should be able to decide how to spend the money that they collect, their state taxes, that sort of thing. I think the federal government in the past few years have gotten way too much power over the states, so I think it needs to change a little bit.
Well, I think you can have a national set of rules, but yet keep the funding local. I don't see why that's difficult, right? You can have some standard, and at the same time, let the states keep the majority of the money. I don't see why that's an issue. It seems to be a compromise that would be great for the sport. You can keep it local in terms of how the money is spent and where it's spent, but you can have the same rules on the East Coast, the West Coast, the Northeast, the Southeast, the Northwest, the Southwest. So, there's some uniformity to the sport.
Yeah,
so there has to be some kind of middle ground. It doesn't have to be A or B, black or white. Like, I agree with Tom. I do think the HISA does make sense for the industry. It is good for the industry because it'll help us standardize the sport, get rid of some of the cheaters, so to speak, and at the same time, allow for the states to still have control over different parts of where their money goes.
Yeah, it should be like joint team there between the state and the federal government, not just the federal government acting as if they're the master and the states are the slaves. So,
for sure, I think that that's something that should kind of work out. It seems to me like there's an easy compromise in there. They just have to find it. The next thing up is this is be happy for Swiss Skydiver fans. Kenneth McPeek's Bar is open back up again after they had a scare with what was it, like a herpes or something along those lines that they had in the track?
Yeah, it's AHV, which is a form of that. It's something that most horses get by the time they're 2, and that if they've gotten it, they're still not protected from it. It can lay dormant for years, just like herpes, and then exercise or stress can bring it out. It can be transmitted from horse to horse through saliva or sneezing, and they say that maybe 30 feet safe distance is what's required, and it can be very devastating for a horse. They get high fever and they can actually go die from it. So
the horses have to socially distance as well.
Yes, they do. Yes.
But 30 feet instead of 6.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see that the barn is open, that the scare has passed, and it's also, I think, good to see a phenomenal horse like Swiss Skydiver going to get a chance to show her stuff and hopefully not face Latruska, right?
Yeah.
Or Menominee Girl. It seems like whenever those two horses are in the race, Swiss Skydiver, she can run well against the boys, but put her in against put her in against Latruska or Menominee Girl, and she don't want to run.
Oh yeah, those are really good mares. They're tough.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Latruska is running as well as any female horse on the planet right now.
Yep.
All right, Terry. So that brings us to your favorite part of the day, your best bet. Now, who do you like today, and why do you like him, and how did your horse do yesterday?
Okay, yesterday was kind of a bust because my first choice and third choice were both scratched, and then my second choice did not get into the money. Of course, when those horses are scratched like that, it really changes the way the race runs a lot of times. So today, I picked Penn National. I picked the 4th race. And I did that in case somebody wants to use my picks in the 4th race with our pick 4s and do a pick 5. But unfortunately, my top choice again was scratched, which is very frustrating. But I do like the number 3 favorite Image. I ran a good second last race on the turf at today's distance, not today's distance, but at 1 mile and 16th at Penn. And then number 2, Kinslayer. The breeding suggests this one will like the grass, and he ran a good second versus similar on the dirt in his only start. So he seems like he's not too green.
All right, sounds good. Now you mentioned that you're going to pick that race, specifically race 4, because you and I are going to do our hot dog and our prime rib pick 4. I wonder if Sean's listening, if we'll get the buffalo burger pick from Sean, but we'll see. If we do, we'll get it. And if anybody else out there has a Penn National pick 4 or wants to throw one together real quick, go ahead and send it to us in the comment section. We'll put it up there and everyone can take a look at it. For now, let's take a look at our first up, the hot dog pick 4. Terry, it starts in race number 5. Tell us about the horses you like and why.
Okay, in the first leg, the 5th race, I like the number 7 as my top pick, and his name is Iron Clash. Figures to improve today while returning to the dirt. He tried turf last time and didn't seem to take to it. Drops in class today, should improve while returning to a sprint too, and has a really sharp workout July 14th. And then my second pick for this race, this is number 3, Market. He switches to a high percent jockey, has the highest last race speed rating, and he drops in class today. Then the second leg, I'm going to play 4 horses. I like the 6 as my top pick, Pictor. He's got a high percent trainer and jockey. He has the highest last race speed rating. And his early speed is a style that will really help his chances in this race. He has the highest speed figures at today's distance, and he has a hot jockey. His last 7 days, this jockey in 13 mounts has won 4 and ran third twice. They're like number 2, Docile Moon. It's going for a 3rd win in a row, so that's the hat trick. And he has a high percent training and a trainer and jockey, and he won his last race at Penn National. And then I like number 1, Torazzo.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's also going for his 3rd win in a row. He also has a high percentage jockey and trainer, and he also won at last race at Penn. He has the best speed rating among today's starters, and his trainer in the last 14 days has had 8 starts with 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a 3rd. And then number 3, #winning, would be the 4th one, and he's got a hot trainer who in the last 14 days have won 6 races out of 10. Then in the 7th race, I'm going to use 2 horses. I'm going to use number 5, Stanchion. Stanchion drops in class today, and whenever this trainer takes a horse from sprint to route and then back to sprint, he 33% wins. So he's got a good angle here. And he can improve because he was returning to the sprint. Then number 6, Gray Lollipops. He has the highest last speed rating, and he ran 2nd versus the same type of horses last race. His highest speed rating at today's distance is the best, and he also has the best dirt speed is among the starters today. So then in the last leg, number 8, Lunar Star is my top pick. He has a high percentage jockey. Should improve in his 2nd start since the layoff. And his jockey has won out of 13 mounts, 4 of them, ran 3rd twice. Then I like number 7, Miss Pink. And Miss Pink has a high percentage trainer also, switches to a high percentage jockey, and has a high speed figure at today's distance. And then number 4, Data Doll, is dropping in class. So that's how I see it. So my ticket is 3-7 with the 1-2-3-6, with the 5-6, with the 4-7-8, and it's a $16 ticket.
All right. For me, race number 5, I'm starting off with the 7 is my top choice. These are short races where speed really is the key to winning. So I'm focused on the fast ones, baby. Number 7's dropping down 2 classes, has some decent works coming into the spot. Number 3 is my second choice, another that's dropping in the class, has a quick turnaround, which is something that usually indicates to me that the trainer likes what he sees in that horse and thinks it's sharp and ready to go. And then my hot dog is also with the 5, has some of the fastest early fractions in the field, and I expect that this horse will do better this time around. In the second leg, the number 6 horse is what I call a 100%er. The way I rank things, it ranked first in every single category. So it's a potential single for me, the 6 horse here. And number 4 is done very well. It should be on or near the lead, and it's won 3 of 7 at the distance. So the horse has run well at the distance, should be close to the pace at another distance that is speed dominated. The race 7, I singled the 6. Has the fastest fractions in the opening quarter for any of these horses in the last 10 races. And at the same time, it was a beaten favorite. Trainer Demetrius Synthius rebounds at 25% with that angle. And then I went big in the last reg with the 7 being my top choice He's one of the fastest, again, to the quarter pole in the last 10 races. So he's put up some really strong fractions. He's got 3 wins, 2 seconds, and 7 at the distance. Number 4 is our second choice, dropping a little bit in class. He's got some good works and won the last time he came off the bench fresh. Number 8 is my third choice. Got the top jockey trainer combination, making the second start off a layoff, which is a pretty good angle for trainer Aaron McLennan. And finally, number 5 is my final choice in race number 8 for the hot dog pick 4. When I look at this horse on the past performance lines, I see a step up in performance from race to race to race, which tells me this horse is ready to go. So Stacy Listak says there is the Buffalo Burger from Sean Drupp. That's the little pick 4 from Sean. He's got 2-3-7 in the first leg. He's singling the 100%er. Good move, Sean. In race number 6 with the 1-4, 5 and 6 in race number 7, and the 2-4-6-7 for $24 to do his Buffalo Burger. Now we're going from Buffalo Burger, Terry, to prime rib, your favorite dinner.
Yep.
Tell us about the horses you added.
All right. Well, in the first leg, the 5th race, I added the number 5 Passcode. And I like Passcode because he drops in class today. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and the best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters. And he can improve with blinkers being added. And then I like number 2, Bush Latte. Switches to a high percentage jockey. It's a shorter distance, so that should help. And the jockey has won 30% of its mounts in the last 7 days. And then in the second leg, I'm going to use the same 1, 2, 3, and 6 horses, but I'm going to add the 5 Metaphorical. And I like the 5 because it been doing really well in the last few days. I mean, last few months. So, and then in the next leg, I'm going to add the 1 and the 2. The 1 switches to a high percent jockey, and he's won 4 out of 13 in the last 7 days. And then the 2 drops in class today. He can improve with blinkers added today. And then in the last leg, I'm going to use the same 4 horses, but if I had a bigger budget, I would also add the 2 to the race.
For me, Tom, the answer to your question is I use Brisnet for a couple of different reasons. One, I have the data file, so I'm able to take the data file and put it into Excel first, and then from that, I can then run some very specific numbers that I'm looking for, and then it kind of ranks the horses for me from top to bottom. And then once I rank them from top to bottom, I actually have another Excel sheet where I run all the horses through and look for, according to tens of thousands of races studied, every single angle that hits at more than 15%. So then I kind of look at that to see where the horses fit in. And then finally, once I have kind of a general picture, I run them through another Excel sheet to compare the horses' early pace and late pace figures to see if how the race shape is probably going to take place. So then I have a sense of how the horses rank, how fast the race is going to be, what the shape of the race might be, all the angles that the horse might hit for. And then I can kind of take that picture and simulate a race in my head and then pick the kind of horse that I feel is going to hit. So that's kind of the way I do all of this work every day. So it's a little bit of qualitative, a lot of quantitative, and then some just good old-fashioned horse racing, handicapping, all from Brisnet. And Stacy Hay says she bets with she bets with Terry Hay. That's no surprise.
No surprise.
No surprise at all.
I wanted to tell Tom that I use the Daily Racing Form and Brisnet both, and that I have an Excel spreadsheet book that I've developed over the years that looks
with a little help from me.
Yes, with help from you, a lot of help from you, which looks at a lot of different things. I used to have to do it all manually, and the help that Rich helped me with makes it easy for me to do now because I can download the information, and he set it up, my sheet up really well for that. So.
Yes, Tom, I actually do use more than an accountant. I use Excel for a lot of stuff. It helps me with a lot of numbers. It makes it a lot easier for me. And, You know, this kind of rewinds back a little bit. I don't want to get too far off track here, but believe it, we were talking earlier about people and spending money and stuff like that. And our government actually gives grants to PhDs to study all kinds of crazy things. And there's a great repository online, ssrn.com, I believe. It studies on everything. So these academics put their studies up online. So I went into there and I Googled horse racing. And there's Stanford PhD, studied tens of thousands of races and looked at just like every single data point. And he came away with 7 predictive data points. So I followed what he said with his 7 predictive data points. That's the first step of my Excel. I kind of modified it a little bit to fit my experience with horse racing. So that's kind of how I start with the rankings. And then I go through all the race shape and all that kind of stuff. So it really is. It is a process that makes it kind of fun. All right. So anyway, let me get back to my prime rib pick 4. In race number 5, I added the 2 top jockey trainer combination and has the top pedigree in the field. Also going to be one of the early pace setters. And I added the number 6. First time with a new trainer. A lot of times when we've talked to trainers, they told us when they take over a new horse, they target a specific race. That tells me that the trainer of the 6 targeting this particular race. I added the 3 in race number 6 as a drop in class, a little bit of drop, 25.7 down to from purse to 16.2. Horse is making the traditional third start off a layoff. Again, another one that I expect to be near the front of the pace. I singled the 6 in the hot dog, added the 3. This is a horse that's had the best quarter mile fractions out of any horse in the last 10 races. If he can do it again, be up near the front where the speed wins. The horse has hit the money 7 out of 12 at Penn National, 5 of 8 at the distance. And I also added the 5, another horse that I expect to be close to the pace, taking a slight class relief in terms of purse size too. And I kept the same 4 horses to end out my pick 4. Much like Terry, I spent the same exact money on my prime rib pick 4, $90. And maybe I don't know, can you get a prime rib dinner in San Francisco for $90, Terry?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, no. I live in Chicago. I don't think you can do it here either. So I don't know where you'd have to go for that.
Yeah, you can go to the prime rib room, San Francisco, but it's pretty expensive now since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Well, we used to have a place here called Laurie's that had like all seasoning and stuff that was all across the country, and it'd been around for a long time. But much like you said, with the pandemic and stuff, I think it closed and it hasn't reopened since. So
yeah, it's sad
for sure. Well, hopefully the folks who used to run Laurie's can pay attention to our pick 4. Hopefully it hits and at least help them pay, the maitre d' or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Terry, any parting thoughts before we go home for today?
No, not really. Just going to work on the next day's horses, which is, I think we're going to do Saratoga tomorrow, if I'm right.
Yes. So we went from West Virginia to Pennsylvania. Yep. Now we're going to move up to New York. So I guess we're going to run in Connecticut on Thursday.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there even a track in Connecticut? I don't know.
No. I think Thursday we're going to try to do Arlington. Isn't that right?
Yes. We're going to be out by me. We might as well do some Arlington before they close and the Chicago Bears start to play football out there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I had heard there was 4 other offers, but I hadn't heard.
I think the Bears got it in the local news. Yeah, that's what I think. It's what I've read. I think they're going to put the stadium out there, and the Bears are going to move out of Chicago, so they can get to the. What about California races? I promise you, Stacy, we'll do California races. We'll focus on California. Well, they don't run on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so they only run on the weekends. So we'll try to. I think we're going to do Del Mar for our Players Edge podcast on Thursday. That's what Sean and I are talking about. So we'll be all over Del Mar on Thursday night with a guest. Don't know who that guest is yet, but when we do have that guest, make sure you tune in 9:30 on East Coast time. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell so that when we do begin with a guest, you'll be notified. It'll be a great show, like every other great show, and we'll take it from there. So Churchill put in for some 2022 racing dates at Arlington. So maybe they're not going to sell it. I don't know. It's a cluster, as they say.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the offers that were made was a racing concern, and I don't know which one it was, but I was hoping they might get some kind of, way in there. I hate to see Arlington close.
Me too, because then I got to go to like Hawthorne, or I got to go to FanDuel, and that's not the best horse racing and/or company.
No, I
If
bet
you've ever
it
been to
isn't.
Hawthorne, you need to have a Kevlar vest on. I'm just kidding. Anyway, it's not really that bad. All right, so make sure you come back. We'll be back tomorrow. Terry and I, as he said, we'll be talking about Saratoga. Will be our pick 4. We haven't selected the news of the day, but we'll find some interesting topics, I'm sure. We'll once again go over Terry's best bet. And until then, folks, everybody, good luck at the races.
Yeah, good luck.